Hi everyone, thank you for joining me live, and for everyone who will be joining me on the replay, thank you for joining me in the video as well. If it's the first time that we're meeting, my name is Isabel Martins from healthandnaturallife.com, and I work with energy healing, animal communication, consciousness, awareness, anything and everything that has to do with us getting to know ourselves better, our truth, our nature, our potential, and how we interact and create the experience and the world around us. On this video, I'm going to share something that is more of a, I'm not sure if I can call it amusing, but insights that have been coalescing and falling into place, almost like Tetris pieces, just one, and they all fit nicely together. And I wanted to share because I think it might be useful for you as well. Usually when these things come up with a lot of energy, I kind of see them then be patterns for other people that they are working on as well. So that's why I want to share. And today I'll be talking about 3 things that at first sight might seem unrelated, but they all fit together. So it's self-criticism or self-judgment, our spherical reality, we'll go more into that, and the energy of waiting. And let's start with self-criticism, because that's what acted as the thread for me, or the tip of the thread that then started pulling and making those other pieces fall into place. So I was, let's start from the beginning. I'm doing a 40-day experiment of sorts that started, I think, 3 weeks ago, that I've learned from Michael Brown, and his work is brilliant. He's the creator of the presence process. If you want to look him up, Michael Brown suggested that we make a list of 5 to 10 subjects that are charged for us, so that are things that we are still not comfortable with, or that have a lot of emotional baggage around. And for 15 minutes, just 15 each day during 40 days, we just focus on one of those subjects and see what comes up for us in terms of emotions. And then we just let the emotions be, do whatever they want to do until they start resolving themselves and moving, integrating whatever was undigested from the past. So pretty much the work that I've been sharing, that we've been doing here on the channel as well. This week, the thread that started this was that one of my items is gums and teeth, because I've had gum and teeth issues for many years, and I know that a lot of it has got to do with ancestral stuff, and there's a lot of anger in there, so there's lots to this issue, but it was a physical thing that I was paying attention to, and I noticed how critical my mind still is of the color of my teeth, of the perceived state of health of my teeth and my gums. So there was a lot of self-criticism, but because I was in a very calm and meditative state, my mind flashed back to when I was just a little girl, I would say 6 perhaps, and started to see where the criticism around my body started. And I say that this for women. For men, you might not resonate as much with this, but for women, this is a check. It starts there. We start comparing our body and the way that we look with the things that we see in magazines, with the things that we see on TV, on movies. So I remember starting with small things, like, for instance, an emerald nail that I have, and then it was a patch, a darker patch on the part of the skin of the leg. Then it went for moles. Then when I went through scoliosis and multiple surgeries, all freaking hell broke loose then, and just the criticism around my body, the way it looked, the way it worked, started getting worse and more intricate. And that got me to a point of just realizing, okay, this has got to have something else attached to it. And by the way, for women, this is a very common thing to be self-critical about. Physical aspects, how we look, and our femininity, our ability to care for or nurture someone. And this is because of the way female and male interactions happened in previous generations. And for men, it's usually not so much the physical, although probably nowadays it's more so as well, but it's the success, how successful a man is, how his abilities are to provide for a family, for someone, to protect someone. So we have, as men and women, different poles that we are more critical around. And this has everything to do with bargaining chips. And that's where we're going next. So that's the next thing that came up for me, is that for women, historically, our looks and the way that we were able to take care of a family, nurture, look after family men, that was the bargaining chip of our ancestors, to actually receive love and to receive even security, because at some point in time, women weren't even allowed to have possessions in their name, or money, or work for that matter. So for women, looks and the femininity, or the ability to nurture and care for something or someone, was our bargaining chip in past generations. For men, the same bargaining chip to receive love, to receive caring, to receive those things that as humans we crave, was the success, the ability to provide, the ability to take care of and protect their family. And there are elements of truth in these very natural ways of being. So for women, it's natural to want to nurture, to love, to just be radiant and beautiful. That's a natural thing. For a man, it's natural to want to protect, to want to just create in the world, to bring something and feel that satisfaction. Those are natural things. The problem is when they become bargaining chips, and that's what has happened in society for whoever knows how long this has been happening, but for the previous generations, and we are the product of those generations. So our self-criticism in whatever area happens for you, it might be the mental ability or the intellect, something like that. It might be emotional, being too little on the emotional side. It might be the physical, looking this way, not be able to do this or that. This self-criticism is because we are using whatever these qualities are as a bargaining chip to get something from the outside. So that was something that became quite clear, and that connected me to something else that I had experienced in this past week. Still, there are two things that this brought about. The first was the nature of our spherical reality, and the second was really the energy of waiting. And I'll just start with the energy of waiting. So I found myself one of these days in this past week completely in the energy of waiting all freaking day long. I had a delivery that was supposed to happen during that day, and they just said it will be delivered before 7 p.m. I'm like, that's nice. That means I'll have to stay home the entire day in order to receive that thing that's important to me. So I was in the energy of waiting for that delivery. I was in the energy of waiting for messages. I was in the energy of waiting for construction to stop because they were demolishing things. I just found myself later in the afternoon completely frustrated and just angry, noticing what the heck is this all about? So I realized, okay, I've been in the energy of waiting the entire day. That's interesting. So I just asked myself, what exactly am I waiting for? And I knew what were the things on the outside that I was waiting for, but the question was more on the lines of, if I'm feeling frustrated, it's because there is something that I want to feel, that I want to get, that I'm not having. And the get is not the physical get thing, it's the emotional satisfaction of something. So what is the emotional state that I am waiting for? That, for instance, when I receive that delivery, what will that do for me? What will I feel when I receive it? And for everything that I had been waiting, on the energy of waiting for, I realized that I wanted to feel just excited, a loving energy of just playfulness. That's what I wanted to feel. And I could even tune into the feeling, and I had a sort of a visual of it being here with a screen in front of it. And the screen were the excuses that I was waiting to receive in order to take it off and receive this feeling of just excitement, of playfulness, of joyful energy, of loving energy. So the energy and the emotions themselves, I could already tune into them, but I was not allowing myself to feel that way because of that excuse that we so often have, that I need this to happen outside in order for me to feel this way, or I need this person to act a certain way or to come into my life in order for me to feel this way, or I need to myself be this way or achieve this or feel or do something myself in order for me to then allow myself to feel this way. These are all those screens that we put in between our current state of feeling in our core and that state of feeling that's out there that we can already tune into, but we're not allowing ourselves to feel them because we've put an artificial filter in the middle of it. It's just a mental filter. If we just allow that filter to dissolve and directly tune into what it is that we want to feel, and this is a manifestation tool. I'm sure that as you're hearing me explain it, you know this, but it's that mental filter that we're so used to putting in the middle of between how we are feeling right now and what we want to feel, that it needs this excuse for us to actually allow ourselves to feel that way. That's what we need to dissolve. And that's something, this is a suggestion that we can actually do almost literally like that. Just if you have something that you feel that you are waiting for in order for you to feel a certain way, and if you're in the energy of waiting for something, whether it's something circumstance, something person, something within yourself, waiting implies you have a mental filter, just by its own definition, because, and now we're entering the spherical reality part of this trifecta of a connection. Everything that we want is not outside of us. None of it is outside of us. We have been conditioned to perceive the world in a linear fashion, and we project things outside of us, both in space and in time. So it's something that's out there that I need to get in order to feel a certain way, and to have this, and the having of this will just, the way that I'll perceive it will be through a feeling. Or we put it in the future that I have to this will happen in the future, so I can't really feel it now. Something else needs to fall into place for me to be able to feel this way. This is an outdated mode of perception. The term spherical reality, I got it from Penny Pierce. She's one of my favorite authors, of just one of my all-time favorite books, which is called Leap of Perception. And the way that she explains it, she puts it's a very graphic explanation. Graphic, not in the bad sense, but it's a graphic, really, explanation. You have an X and a Y and an X axis, and if you imagine the Y axis being what you want, you being in the center are putting what you want either here. Let's say that up is the future, something that you want is here, and that's very important. So it's not the future, it's very important. Or there's something that you really don't want, and let's put it in the negative side of things. No, I want to avoid this. And then we have the x-axis, that is the time. So let's say that to the right is the future, and to the left, and you're probably seeing this the other way around, but let's say to your right, let's say that it's the future, and to your left, it's the past. We're again placing, let's say that's something that we want to happen, we're placing it not only in something important, but we're also displacing it towards the future. So we are here in the center, and this thing that we want is somewhere here around us, or we want to change something in the past, so it's on the other side. Yeah, can happen. So at any rate, we are in the center, pretty much in an empty shell, because there's nothing that we are doing about the present moment, about the now, about the center, and we are projecting everything that we want to either get or avoid or change in the future and in space. So we're displacing our fulfillment and the way that we want to feel in time and space. So it's almost like we're creating a hole, and we have a donut shape around it with all the things that we want, all the things that we don't want. All of it is outside of us. She says that we can, and I hope that was clear. She says that the truth is that everything is actually within that sphere. If this is the axis and this is the center, everything is happening around the center. So there's nothing that will ever happen in the future. There's nothing that has ever happened in the past. Everything is always happening in the here and now. And even if we're thinking about past things, we are feeling them here and now. If we're projecting future things, we are not present, but if we notice where in time we're projecting, it's still in the here and now. So everything that we experience is within this spherical reality. Can see it as our aura, as our biofield. Everything that we want, everything that we create, everything that we project, the fact that we are seeing a world in front of us and that we have responses to it, none of it is outside of us. All your perceptions of the world, where do they happen? They happen inside of your awareness. So you can only know that there's a world because you see it, you hear it, you feel it, you smell it, you taste it, you touch it. But all of those perceptions always happen inside of you, in your awareness, through our physical senses, because we are focused as physical beings in this reality. But all of it, you can't prove to anyone that there's a world outside, because all of your perceptions actually happen inside of you. And it's the same thing with the things that we feel are in the future that we want or that we are trying to avoid. Everything is still in our energy field, and it's just a different level of frequency to the one that we are experiencing right here and right now. So, for instance, when I was projecting, when I receive this, I'll feel the excitement, I'll feel the joy, I'll feel the love. I was pushing a feeling that was already in my energy field. Otherwise, I wouldn't have the desire for anything. And that's another thing. If there's something, a little interjection, if there's something that you want and that you feel that it's impossible, if it wasn't possible for you, you would not have that interest, that impulse. You might be locking on details that may not be the actual manifestation of that thing that you want, but the feeling signature that you have, it's already available and already in your energy field. Otherwise, you would not have the desire for anything. So anytime that we are in the energy of waiting, there is a desire, and it is already an energetic and emotion feeling signature that is already in our energy field. It's just a matter of us feeling into, okay, where do I have the wall? Let the wall dissolve a little bit and let me feel that way right now. And it's us actually tuning into our energy field, noticing where are those outcomes, let's call it that, those ways of feeling that we want, where they are, feeling them now, because it's that tuning that will start to raise our frequency to that level of that thing that we wanted. At first, we experience it immediately, but then it starts to incorporate, it starts moving from the mental to the emotional to the physical, and then we start to project it out, and then we start seeing it being reflected to us in various different circumstances. Might be a circumstance similar to the one that we were projecting that would have to happen in order for us to feel a certain way, but it might be something else completely different, completely a million times better even than we were expecting. So this is something very important, and it's something that's very talked about in manifestation, law of attraction, things, is to feel the feeling of the things that we want. And it's not because it will bring it to us, it's already in our field. It's because it will help us tune our energy to the level of really embodying that, and then from us, actually, it projects out, and the filters that we put in this infinite potential and infinite possibilities reality, those filters start changing to accommodate that new frequency of that way of feeling that we're feeling, that will then start filtering from the million billion possibilities, the experiences that match that frequency. So it's almost like we're choosing filters to put on our energy field all the time in order to bring a certain type of feeling reality to us and physical reality. And it is through us actually allowing ourselves to notice, okay, so what exactly am I wanting to feel here? This. Okay, I'm waiting for this to happen, but let me just allow that waiting to dissolve. You can imagine it like ice melting or like fog dissolving on a morning, anything. Let it dissolve, let it melt, because it's just a mental filter and they can dissolve like that. And just tune into the energy of the feeling. And you'll know that, okay, I'm embodying this, I'm changing, cleansing, reactivating different filters that will then start bringing from the million billion possibilities of the infinite field of potentials these experiences that match the frequency of these filters. And yeah, I'm not sure how to make this more practical, but yeah, that's it. Anytime that you find yourself first in the energy of self-criticism or self-judgment for whatever reason, it still means that we are looking at ourselves and saying this isn't the way that it's supposed to be. And it's okay, you can just ask ourselves, so what exactly am I wanting? It might just be a desire to act in a different way, feel the different way, eliminate the middleman and the waiting, the energy of waiting, and just start feeling it immediately. Or it might be part of that bargaining chip. And if you notice that it is something that's okay, because I want to feel admired, because I want to feel loved, because I want to feel safe. Good. Eliminate the middleman again. Start feeling. Don't wait for a person. Don't wait for a circumstance. Don't wait for a change. Start feeling that way immediately. And if you feel that you don't want to, start diving deeper. Okay, so what is it that I want here? And we can go deep and deep and deep to start finding issues and hurts, wounds that we had with our mother, with our father, with our siblings, with our best friends, childhood things. And in those cases, anything that we talked in the previous videos, anything that allows our energy to start moving again, be with it, unresist the flow of energy, unresist the pain, because it's just an old, and not an old, but it's just a part of your consciousness that got segregated and locked and pushed in time, and now it can start coming up in your awareness. You can start seeing it, feeling it, loving it, and allowing that energy to just come back into wholeness, into integration again. And that's healing. All of this is healing. So when you feel yourself in either criticism, self-judgment, or in the energy of waiting, start noticing, what is it that I want that's on the other side of this? Dissolve the mental filters. Remember that for you to actually want something, have a desire for something, your reality is spherical. It's created from inside of you, from the way that you feel, from the frequency that you are setting and pushing into your filters of, I'm going to light this from the infinite field of potentials because of the frequency that I'm feeling, and therefore I'm projecting out. I'm going to light this. For you to have those physical experiences, it is coming from you feeling that way first. And again, this is nothing new for us, but it might be a different way of perceiving it. That first, there's your spherical reality, and everything that comes up for you as a desire, it's already in your energy field. Otherwise, you would not be able to tune into it, to feel the distance that was artificially created between what you're feeling right now and that thing that you're desiring. So it's already in you. It's already in you. It's just that there's a mental scream of something that we are thinking needs to happen first. Dissolve that, tune into it, allow yourself the gift of starting to feel it, if for nothing else, just for the freaking satisfaction of feeling good, and then start seeing how things around you change. So that's what I wanted to share today. I hope this made sense, because it was something that just started to fall like this, like little pieces falling into place in a deeper way for me. So I hoped this was clear and useful as well for you. Let me know in the comments if it sparked something in you. Let me know as well if you have any questions. Like, comment, share, do whatever you feel inspired. Thank you for watching this video, for joining me live, and I'll see you on the next video.